Babes, happy Friday. Okay, so now we got Wine Glass and Chill back on the docket. I guess I didn't lose enough brain cells last time, so I guess I'm coming back for some more. All right, Wine Glass, let's go. Using ADHD as an excuse for a nasty home. Super busy day in the life of a stay-at-home mom of four plus husband. Wine Glass. All right, girl. All right. Let's hear your Easter speech.
All right, y'all. So I want to talk to y'all about ADHD and everything we go through, like my family, what my family go through versus a normal family. So I just want to get on here and normalize our ADHD because this is what we struggle with every day, all day. So ADHD in itself is, a lot of people think, oh, it's just constant reminders, like you constantly forget things. But it's a lot deeper.
Let me say this. Wine Glass wants to prove or want us to be sympathetic to the fact that her husband is lazy and he's a bum. Now, Wine Glass, look, I don't think it's anything that you can say to me that will convince me otherwise about your husband, boyfriend, whatever. It's nothing that you can say to convince me. So you're just wasting your breath. But I'm gonna listen to your Easter speech. Go ahead, girl. Go.
In that, it's like when you have an office, right? And I always say this because the doctor told me this. It's like when you have an office, right? Everything is stored neatly in their folders. When you have ADHD, nothing is stored neatly in your brain. So nothing is stored neatly like the average person. So what we deal with on a daily basis is because all four of us got ADHD. And so Nayori might end up having ADHD because I already see the symptoms, the signs, and everything. He's probably going to have ADHD. I don't know if Nayori is going to have ADHD. I forgot to say, hey y'all, if y'all new, my name is Wine Glass and Chill. I do have a husband. He's been here since, going on 16 years. And he is the father of all four of my kids. I do have four kids. I have two kids that's already diagnosed with ADHD. My daughter has more of a different type of ADHD. She has ADHD, but she has other stuff wrong with her too. She has another diagnosis with ADHD.
Everybody got something wrong with it. Everybody. I go. Okay.
And then my youngest two are 4 and 2, and they are not diagnosed with ADHD, but I do see characteristics in Nayori's ADHD. So I just want to get on here and just talk about ADHD, period, like how it affects us as a family. And hopefully this shares a light on anybody else who has ADHD, because ADHD is, I feel like, is really pushed underneath the rug, especially in our Black community, because they don't like taking medicine. We don't like to take medicine because I really do think it stems way back in the day when slaves were like brought over here. We were Black, and when Black slavery was brought over here, I think this is what's stemming to now a lot of stuff, because we back then was taught, oh, we shouldn't have depression. Depression is a word. It is a word.
Wine Glass, what I really need you to do is really write down. Let me say this. I can tell that you have looked at a couple YouTube videos, looked on TikTok, and I get where you're going with this statement, but you are not educated enough to communicate what you are trying to say. And that's your problem. Stop trying to speak on things when you really don't have a grasp of what you are trying to say. But go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
But it is some physical things that you have to work with and understand to get through this depression. So a lot of times when it comes to medicine, we don't take medicine because of slavery. I'm saying, like, it's a lot. And it's just back in the day, I think it's just stemming off and rubbing on us a little bit more than it was any other day. So let's get into this ADHD, and I hope I'm not everywhere. And I know a lot of people's like, you are everywhere, but this is really my ADHD. This is part of me, and I cannot help that. You know what I mean? I have ADHD, and I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was grown, like not even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. In my mind, I know I had ADHD when I was younger. And so I get a lot of rude comments of a lot of people saying like, "Oh, you can't spell, you can't speak." You like ADHD affects your speech, it affects your reading, it affects your spelling, it affects so much stuff in just period. And you'll think like, "Oh, you know, maybe my kid is this way," and it's really just ADHD. ADHD is like broad, like it's so much stuff that ADHD can happen to a person and a kid. Okay, so when it comes down to cleaning for us, and this is a big topic because I know a lot of people's like, you are using ADHD for an excuse for you not to clean your house, and that is not true. ADHD does affect a person when it comes down to cleaning. So I wrote down some stuff on here. I did look up some things. I learned a lot just looking it up because ADHD affects a lot. It affects our whole world. Me personally, it affects my whole world. Bay personally, it affects his whole world. My kids, it affects their whole
Go ahead.
So I'm going to dive deep into like what it really like part of me, part of Bay, part of RJ, part of Malaysia. I honestly don't know what they're feeling until they tell me or when they get older and stuff like that. But I can see what's going on with them, so I can explain. So first of it, let's just talk about me. So I said I looked on Google and asked, can ADHD affect keeping your house clean? Can it affect us like keeping our house clean? And it says, yes, ADHD can significantly affect your ability to keep your house clean, as people with ADHD often struggles with executive functions, skills like planning, prioritizing, and staying focused, making it difficult to initiate. See, that's the ADHD, initiate and complete.
How does ADHD affects you not knowing how to read? Okay, I think that everybody has a little bit of ADHD in them. Hell, I do. I cannot sit here and just look at her and listen to her. I have to be doing something. So everybody has a little bit of ADHD. And I know how to spell, know how to read, I know how to communicate effectively. This is you. You just dumb wine glass. Go ahead.
Cleaning tasks leading to a messy house environment, a messy home environment. Some people are naturally neat. So I know there's a lot of people on here that says, "Oh, I'm neat. I got depression." Well, my depression and your depression is different because I have ADHD too. So you gotta really like play a factor of my ADHD with it. Like it's not just regular depression. I have ADHD, so this is affecting it too. So I'm having two barriers at once that's affecting me. So it says, some people are naturally neat. They keep their things fairly organized and try to avoid making a mess. But many kids and adults with ADHD are the opposite. They are messy most of the time. And that's true because right now I'm trying to figure out how to organize my life, and which is my home, right?
I know this shit ain't finger reading. This video is 28 minutes long. Lord have mercy. I'm not going to be able to do it.
And that is so true because ADHD person, I feel like we overthink it. And I got that too. So it says, this what I wrote down too. I said, a large part that clouds my mind is my thought process of how often I misjudge a task will take. For example, I avoid doing the dishes for days because I think it would take 3 hours when it maybe takes 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So that's me altogether. Like I will overthink something. I will see something and be like, man, that's going to take me 3 hours. Do I really want to spend my 3 hours on cleaning this?
But you know it won't take you 3 hours because you did it before. So you mean to tell me you see a sink full of dishes that you've cleaned 300 times in your lifetime, and you think that it's going to take you 3 hours to do it when you know it doesn't take 3 hours to do it? Okay.
And I know a lot of people like, oh, well, you could pick up before you make a mess. ADHD people that have ADHD, I lose my phone thousands of times a day. And just imagine if I just put down a knife, and not even a knife, that's the wrong thing. Like if I put down a book and then I go about my business, I forget where I even put that book at. And it could be on the counter, it could be underneath papers, and I could forget, and then I rethink again, oh man, I need to go find that paper. Many a times I will walk, like I would be like, my mind is set, like I'm going to get an apple. So I'm in my room, right? And then I walk into the kitchen and forget what I was going to really do. And then I go sit down like, what am I really supposed to be doing? That is all part of my ADHD, okay? And so let me explain, when I have speech problems, it's all stemming off of my ADHD.
If you got ADHD that bad, wine glass, you need to take care a caretaker. You need a caretaker, dear. Because, no.
really my processing. I believe I got a processing disorder too. Like RJ has a processing disorder. Malaysia has a processing disorder. I believe Nayori might have a processing disorder too. But I don't know for sure. But I feel like that is within it. Me and Bay is like, all my kids is by him. So they already told me when Malaysia was born, when she had everything, they was like all my kids going to eventually have it because they are genetics, like the same genetic, like they're from the same dad, same mom. So that's what it is. So yes, it's hard for us to keep our room clean. It's hard to keep our whole house clean. So it is what it is. It's hard to stay organized. And the pieces that I use to stay organized is writing down a list of things.
Well, I'm glad your kids should grow up and whoop your ass. Because first of all, you knew you had this barrier after you had your first child. You knew. And you kept having children, setting them up for failure. Girl, I don't know how much more I can take.
Supposed to do a day really does help me because I will forget, and it's not on purpose. It's just that's my ADHD. So, okay. So what else y'all gonna be talking about? Oh, so I want to explain some stuff of my outer body experience when it comes down to anxiety and ADHD too, because it all plays a part. So ADHD is when you overthink or everything is not processing right, and you got to look. So our brains, like I just said, is like an office, and if everything is stored neatly, then you can, like when you think about something, you can easily pick it out and it comes to you, right? Our brains are not like that. Our brains is disorganized, so it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for us to get things out, to understand things. Like that's me. Like I've been having problems with speech lately, and I don't think I ever told y'all. Like I got put on a medicine and it messed my speech up. So now sometimes I got to think before I speak, and sometimes the stuff don't come out clear, and I'm like, what is going on? So it could be part of my speech again. So it is what it is what we live with. So let me tell you about my outer body experience that I had. So I think this is way before I started taking ADHD medicine, but I did take a CBD gummy, and now this was very, very, very popular when the vapes came out. This was very popular, but I wanted, was it a CBD? The CBD gummies are different from the Delta 8 gummies. So I really took a Delta 8 gummy. So I'm not used to smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't do none of those drugs, right? So when I took the Delta 8 gummy, my body was not registered. Like everything was off. And this is when we lived in our townhouse. Yeah, this was when, I think before I even started doing reactions or whatever. So when that happened, it was like I was in my body. No, I wasn't in my body. I was standing outside of my body, and I was trying to control myself. And I was just crying. I kept telling myself, like, I'm not a drug addict. We was at the hospital. Like, Bay took me to the emergency room ASAP because I was like, Bay, take me.
Why, Glass, that's everybody that take an edible. Like, what are you talking about? You took an edible and you had a bad experience. That's most people. Especially when you're not used to it. Like, what are you talking? Girl.
To the emergency room. I don't know what's going on because I never had this stuff. I never been high before. So I get to the emergency room and I'm crying and I'm shouting out like I'm not a crackhead, but I'm saying it's like very, very fast. And then I feel like I'm here, but I'm really not here. And I am there, but I'm not there. I don't know if I guess if you ever been high before, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's how I felt, but 10 times worse. Like I could not control my body. So I was crying like I lost my mind forever. And it's crazy because I never really thought like people really go through this and can't get their mind back. And it's really crazy to me. And it's that right there scares the shit out of me. So that's why I was crying like I can never get my body back. And I'm not a drug addict. I don't do no drugs. I don't want y'all taking my kids. That was my first thing. Like when I went in there, I thought they was going to take my kids. But then I settled myself down like, no, my kids are not going to get taken. But then I went back to the same spot. It was like I was here, but then I went 10 seconds, like an hour behind. Then I went an hour forward and then back to normal and then an hour backwards. Like it was really crazy. I was like really crying. I was panicking and everything. They did put me on an IV drip. And then they did also gave me some, lorazepam to help calm me because I didn't know. So when I asked Bay, have he ever went through that? Because that is part of an anxiety attack. That right there is an anxiety attack, like period. It's a panic attack. It's an anxiety attack. Like when you panic, you over panic, like you're stimulating. And he said, yeah. He said he went through that multiple times when he go through his attacks, like he cannot control himself. Like, and this is why when it comes down to my husband, I stand so hard on him because I went through that.
Here you go. This is what you really want to talk about. I hope you don't take what I got. Oh, Lord. I hope you don't take more than 2 minutes on this subject.
I know exactly how he feels when he does go through his anxiety, when he goes through any of his problems. So my husband, I've been with my husband for almost, I can't remember, 15, 16, I can't remember, 15 years, 16 years, 14 years. I can't remember. But we've been together for forever, right? And when I first got with him, he used to breathe very fast, like that, because his anxiety used to be up. He'd be trying to breathe to calm down his anxiety so he won't have an attack. So.
And you attracted to that? I mean, and Lord have mercy.
I don't know what happened, but I think he said that he did smoke some type of marijuana back in the days. This was when he was younger, and ever since then he had really bad anxiety. But it could stem from all the stuff, the trauma that happened when he was younger. So he had a lot of trauma. He got shot before. He got hit by cars. He went through a lot of stuff when he was younger, y'all. Like, period. Like, he went through so much stuff. That's why I said when it comes out to my husband, I stump on people's necks, because one thing about him, he's a very kind person, and the things that he goes through is crazy to me, how he can still be kind. You know what I mean? So,
Wineglass, fuck you. And fuck your man. Like, girl, I'm gonna say, everybody else gonna say whatever the fuck they wanna say about him. Girl, bye.
When he go through his anxiety, I understand this. So when we got together, and then when we moved out, that's when I told him, like, babe, I really think you should go get checked out to see if they can manage you with medication, so you won't have to live through this. So with him having this anxiety, he tends to lean to drinking. Okay, he don't even drink as nearly as he used to be back in the day. I'm good with the drinking now. Back in the day, it used to be really bad because he's trying to self-medicate himself. So when we have mental illness, we self-medicate ourselves. We smoke weed. We drink weed. I think people pop pills, and they drink because they're trying to self-medicate themselves. So I know a lot of people like, why would you say?
Hold on, pause. I need to see if this is a mental illness. Let me do a Google search. Okay, Wineglass, I had to check it. It says anxiety is part of mental illness. But go ahead, girl.
You say that medicate, it is. It's part of it. I'm sorry. You can have a good time, but you can self-medicate yourself. So might not bring up understand this. So when we got together, and then when we moved out, that's when I told him, like, babe, I really think you should go get checked out to see if they can manage you with medication, so you won't have to live through this. So with him having this anxiety, he tends to lean to drinking. Okay, he don't even drink as nearly as he used to be back in the day. I'm good with the drinking now. Back in the day, it used to be really bad because he's trying to self-medicate himself. So when we have mental illness, we self-medicate ourselves. We smoke weed. We drink weed. I think people pop pills, and they drink because they're trying to self-medicate themselves. So I know a lot of people like, why would you say that? Medicate, it is. It's part of it. I'm sorry. You can have a good time, but you can self-medicate yourself. So that's what I say. But that's what he was doing back then. And so once he got on his medicine and he went to the right provider, that's when his anxiety, he was like, I feel like I'm kind of normal now. He knows what things that triggers, like small spaces, riding in cars, he get car sick.
Oh. So he's normal now. Oh, okay. All right.
And that's from his anxiety. It could be him driving himself. Might not bring up his anxiety, but he usually don't go that far. No way. He only goes to the gas station and back. He don't go far. So that's on, what he go through. So some days when y'all see him, y'all think, oh, he just sit there all day. No, he really does get up. He just don't like people intruding in his space. You know what I mean? He's very a private person. He does take care of his kids. Like when I'm gone, who's taking care of the kids? Like it's not RJ in Malaysia. It's really him. He's taking care of his kids. He's cooking for them. He's feeding for them. He's doing what he can do. And certain things that he can't do, I understand, because he does have some things that's going on with him. Like he got shot.
Well, you said he said he was normal. So what can he do? What can he not do? He said that he was normal. So what's the issue?
I tell y'all this, everything I'm telling y'all is like y'all fight me and be like, no, you should throw him away. Like, that's like me, right? Y'all, like a lot of men be like, oh, he got a good woman. But I have flaws too. I have ADHD. He has ADHD. So you think he should throw me away because I go through my depression, I go through my ADHD? Why should I throw him away? He's a good person. He does what he do. And I feel like as a man, my husband, as a man, he does a lot more than the average nigga out here that does not even be at home with their kids. They don't even want to babysit their kids. They don't even give no money, no nothing. Like, he does a hell of a lot. So it's just that it's things that comes with this ADHD that we have to learn how to accept. So that's what I had to do. I have to accept some stuff that comes with them. Everybody got baggage that you have to accept. as you going into a relationship. So
Look, wine glasses, if that's what you want to accept, fine, but I don't have to accept it. If I feel like he lazy, I feel like he lazy. Sorry.
it is what it is. So I'm gonna keep on rambling about this ADHD stuff, but our ADHD really does affect us in the morning. Like, let me tell you about RJ. So RJ is very disorganized person. Period. That's all he is. He's a nonchalant person. He's don't care about the details. He just want to get it done. So RJ is the type of person that will throw all his paper in his book bag. Don't care if it's crumbled. Don't care nothing. And that's part of his ADHD. And so RJ will ask you a lot of questions. RJ is very, very fucking smart when it comes down to math. And I'm so happy about that because it's always a strong point in a person's life. Everybody got a strongness. Everybody got a weakness. Everybody learn different, right? So RJ is very good at math. Malaysia is really good at reading. Malaysia is different when it comes down to her paper. She puts it in her folder. She does that. But when it comes down to her room, she clutters paper. And that's what she does. Malaysia tends to think without asking. RJ tends to think and ask. So he'll keep asking me a question over and over until he understands.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it here because I really don't care about these children. I just think that it's messed up that you procreated with somebody and that you knew that had issues, and you knew it was a chance for your children to have these same issues. So, girl, I don't care. Anyway, bye, wine glass. Goodbye.